celebrate. They have done it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another rumour has it video talking about players linked to the football club this coming summer. It's all very buoyant at the minute with Newcastle United in terms of the season that we're having. We've just won our first trophy in 70 years. It was already excitement going into this transfer window in the summer that the club were going to spend big. We haven't spent really in three windows. Haven't bought a first team player in 3 windows, and we'll be linked to loads of players, every player under the sun. And despite the heroics of the Carabao Cup, there is some key positions in this squad that need to be replaced. And they need to be replaced because players are aging out, or players just maybe haven't got the ability to take us to that next level, which is going for top 4 every single season, going for trophies, even mount a title challenge. And Newcastle United need to spend in the key areas to get that done. And this player we're going to talk about is a really, really exciting player. I'm amazed we didn't go from last summer, to be brutally honest with you, because he went for peanuts, really, to Bournemouth. And we're going to get stuck right into him right now. You know who I'm talking about. It's this lad right here. It's Dean Huijsen. Now, as the story goes, Dean Huijsen, he's 19 years old, Spanish international. He's an absolutely fantastic player. We'll get to his stats here in a second. But just talking about the stories are going that this lad apparently is Newcastle United's #1 defensive target. Now, is he right foot? Is he left foot? Well, apparently he can use both. But he's an absolutely fantastic footballer. He's great on the ball. He's calm. He's quick. You know, he can thread balls through the lines. His positional sense is great, and he's a threat as well from set pieces. And he's only 19 years old. This kid is just going to get better and better. But apparently Newcastle United have been in direct contact with his agents because there is a £50 million release clause that is going to be active for Dean Huijsen this summer. And Newcastle apparently are moving quick to get this done. Now, all of this talk about Paul Mitchell, I'm yet to be convinced. A lot of people are very convinced about Paul Mitchell. This is very much a Paul Mitchell type of signing. You know, a young, up-and-coming player. If we'd signed him in the summer for 15 million quid that Bournemouth did, which was unbelievable, by the way, you know, that would have been one of the best signings the club's made in recent history. I think he would have came to Newcastle, he would have been absolutely sensational. But 50 million quid in the current market for a kid this good, who's been brilliant for Bournemouth. He really has. Bournemouth had a great season, and largely because of Dean Huijsen. But we're going to get into his stats right now because this kid is an absolutely brilliant player. And the thought of him playing alongside Sven Botman is just mouthwatering if Botman can stay fit. But looking at his stats there, so his tackles look a little bit low in the 56th percentile. He's more of a positional interception type defender. Doesn't have to fly into loads of tackles because his positional sense is so good that he sniffs out danger before he has to make that tackle. But you can see his tackles one are still pretty good. He's in the 7th percentile. But look at the interceptions, 99th percentile. That's across the top 5 European leagues and centre-halves in his position. Unbelievable. 19 years old, by the way. Incredible. Blocks, 87th percentile. Clearances up the 90th percentile. Passes in the 61. Pass completion is a little bit low down. Progression passes is 77. Key passes is 96. Passes at the final third. Look at that, 90 percentile. Imagine this kid getting the ball and threading it through to Anthony Gordon out wide or Alexander Isak through the middle. It's mouthwatering to even think about it. Progressive carries too. He's great at bringing the ball out from the back, 91st percentile. Shot creation chances as well. He's right up there. He's not too great in the air, but he's a lot better in the deck. You know, touches, doesn't get dispossessed a lot as well, and recovers really well as a player. But in terms of his performances for Bournemouth this season, you know, he's played 23 times this season. He's got 2 goals. You know, his tackles and his interceptions and his blocks, his passing ratio, he's 83.5% in terms of his passing ratio. He's played for both Roma and Juventus, so he's played in European football as well, Champions League games. And I think this kid would be an absolutely brilliant signing for Newcastle United. Now, the only snag about this is apparently Real Madrid, bit my teeth right there, are leading the chase for Dean Huijsen this summer. And once Real Madrid kind of come to the party, it's really difficult to get players away from that because, you know, and then you've got Liverpool that are keen as well, and Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. So some of Europe's elite here, you know, in terms of interest in this player. But once Real Madrid kind of come to town, it's really, really difficult to move them alongside. Now, it will be interesting to see whether Dean Huijsen wants to stay in the Premier League. Newcastle just won some silverware. So you might be thinking, hey, do you know, that's a good club to be part of. You know, Fabian Schär's not getting any younger, Dan Burns not getting any younger, Lascelles probably be out the door in the summer. Maybe I can form a nice partnership with Botman, and he might fancy it. But I think if Madrid do go for Huijsen, there's every chance he's probably going to go there, in all fairness, rather than Newcastle United. But it's a very, very interesting link. And the fact that the club are making him the #1 defensive target tells you that maybe I think they've got a chance of maybe getting the player. You know, they wouldn't waste all their effort on it if they didn't think there was a chance. They're talking to his agents already. Maybe they're just trying to get that set up. There'll be loads of other centre-halves linked. Do we go back in for Mark Way here? I don't know. But Dean Huijsen, for me, at 19 years old, I think would be an unbelievable bit of business. Yes, it's 50 million quid's a lot of money. If you spend 50 million quid on this kid at 19, you give him 2 seasons and Newcastle United, I think he'd be worth 100, 150 million. I really do, because he's that good of a player. I think he'll be an excellent fit for Newcastle United alongside the bottom man. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Dean Huijsen apparently being our #1 defensive link. Do you think we've got a chance if Real Madrid are in town? Is this just agent talk to try and push up the fee from Real Madrid, push up the contract or something like that? Newcastle will be used for that, no doubt about it. We've been used before, will be used again. But one thing is for sure, Newcastle have to strengthen that centre-back position. I think the back has probably been the weakest part of our squad this season. Used to be the strongest, but it's aged out. Trippier, Burn, Share, all getting too old. I think with Tino Livramento, Lewis Hall and Botman, if he can stay fit, there's a real good 3 in there. You need another centre-half alongside them, and I'd love it to be Dean Huijsen, in the words of Kevin Keegan, but I'm not sure how easy that would be. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. If you think we've got a chance with Dean Huijsen, or if not Dean Huijsen, who would you want to go for? We always like to hear from you. Drop a comment in. Remember to click like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Keep it evermore. We'll be back with some more Rumour Has It soon. Have a belter. We'll see you later. Cheers.